We are live. What's up, everybody? How are you doing? And welcome to the Chapman Show. I'm your host, Joel Chapman, aka Little Juggernaut, and today we have a very special guest. Give it up for Colton Bowen. What's up, Colton? How are you doing, brother?
Pretty good, man. Pretty good.
Nice. So, thank you for coming on the show. I really appreciate it. So, you got a big fight coming up this weekend. Who you fighting?
I fight Conrad Laus, old promoter of mine. Be my pro debut. I think it's his second pro fight, and it definitely should be an exciting fight.
Okay, now, out of curiosity, how did you even get that set up? Like, how did this fight come about? It's a little weird. What are the odds that you're actually fighting your ex-promoter? How does that work out? How did that even get set up?
Well, it actually kind of started out as a joke. It was about 4 months ago. I had seen, because me and him are obviously friends on Facebook and stuff, and I had seen he had posted that he wanted to fight again, and he's been doing a lot of the promoting for a while, and putting on a couple shows up, I think in Gaylord, the Grayling area, and I commented on there. I was like, well, I said, shit, I'll come back and fight again, and we kind of joked around about it for a few days, and then Sheena Star actually ended up messaging us both, and she wanted to put it together and put it on one of Pete's shows on TWT. And I went through the process of getting a pro license, and we had it set up about 3 months ago, and I started getting back into training pretty good and doing my slow weight cut, and now we're here 3 days away from weigh-ins.
Okay. Sheena, that's my homie. I love the girl to death. She's awesome. Like, she does so much for Michigan MMA, like, I swear. So out of curiosity, how many amateur fights, because this is your pro debut, so how many amateur fights did you have before you decided to turn pro, and what made you decide to actually want to go pro and take that next step?
I had 36 amateur fights. I was 24 and 12 as an amateur. I think I only had a couple of them that were sanctioned because when I first started fighting, it was 10 years ago now, 9 or 10 years ago. A lot of the shows that we were fighting on weren't real big shows, fighting right in Cadillac and stuff for Sean and Cadillac, and did a couple shows for Christos up in Traverse City on AFL, and I kind of went through rough times through my whole amateur career, because up until, almost 20 months ago, I was off and on battling pretty hard with addiction. I was pretty bad into some serious stuff for a long time, and finally, it was March or April 28th of last year, finally got all my stuff together, so to speak, and first time in my life I've had, let alone 19 months clean, but making it past 90 days clean was always a hard thing for me, and this time this time was a lot different. Started finding different things to work for and keep myself motivated in life and try to stay clean and stuff. And once me and Conrad started talking about fighting, it kind of brought back the old urge of wanting to get back into it, start working out hardcore again, get my body back in shape. Because 4 months ago, when I decided to take the fight, I was 190 pounds, sitting on the couch all the time and fat. And then right now, I just weighed myself today at the gym. I'm only, technically on weight, but I'm 3 pounds over what I want to be. I want to be right on weight. 165 is what we're fighting at. So, yeah, man, it's been an exciting journey, definitely. Had a lot of hard times getting ready for this fight, but I feel like it's definitely going to help me out in the long run, for sure.
I just wanted to say, first of all, that I'm very proud of you for beating addiction. Addiction is no joke. I know it's something very hard to overcome. And I think that it's awesome that MMA and the sport kind of help you focus your attention on getting away from that type of lifestyle. Do you think actually, because I feel like as a martial artist, if you live the lifestyle, I think that gives you something to focus on. Do you kind of feel the same way?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Once I started training again and getting back into it every day, man, it was just like, even through the hard days I was having, and once I got to the gym and started working out, or even just going, and one of my sponsors, Rhinos Fitness, or Rhinos Training in Cadillac, he hooked me up with a gym membership and got me going again, and it was nice to be back in the gym, because no matter if I was lifting, working out, training, it didn't matter, if I had them hard days, it was awesome to go in the gym and just leave it all there, no matter what it was.
I understand that. Now, what type of fighter are you? Are you a stand-up fighter? You're a ground fighter? You pretty well-rounded? I mean, what type of background did you actually come from? Did you come from like a wrestling, a striking? Did you grow up fighting on the streets? Like what's your actual background? Because everybody has a story and everybody has a starting point. So I'm very curious to know what your starting point in the martial arts was.
I actually started wrestling freestyle when I was probably 7 or 8 years old. My dad had me hooked up starting to wrestle freestyle, and then eventually turned it into getting into school function wrestling and stuff like that. And then when I was about 15 is when I kind of started my whole addiction process. Not real bad into it or nothing like that, but even when I was in school, I started to build problems, stuff like that. And then ultimately when I moved, I ended up moving from Norley Stanwood. I went to school there for pretty much most of my life, which is just south of Big Rapids, like 10 minutes south of Big Rapids. And moved up to Cadillac and kind of got hooked up with the wrong people as soon as I moved up here. And it ended up turning into not just wrestling no more, but kind of the street fighting thing for a long time. And it was just like, even being young, I just loved to fight. It didn't matter what I was doing, I loved to fight. I just kind of channeled it all in the wrong direction when I was younger. And then got hooked up with Vance Squared and Titan MMA. Well, Undisputed MMA is what it started out as, and me and Sheena were teammates for a long time, and once I got hooked up with him, I still was caught up, doing street fights and stuff like that, and it wasn't obviously the right thing to be doing, but Vance helped me out big time. If it wasn't for Vance, who knows where I'd be today if it wasn't for Vance, because he was like a father figure to me starting out, and he helped me out through some pretty dark times, and it's, I don't know, man, it's nice to be able to focus on the sport now, and, for the most part, put away all the negative stuff. And, every fight I've ever had since training with Vance and Sheena, that's all, not only two people, well, Vance mostly, that's the one person I always had to thank for everything I know. He's taught me a lot. He taught me a lot of self-discipline and a lot of good stuff, man.
Yeah, I absolutely love Vance. Vance, he's reffed like most, I'll probably say about 80% of my fights he's reffed, and he actually used to be my manager a while ago. So I absolutely love and adore Vance. I've been out of state with him. Like, that is my guy. Like, and I'm so proud of Vance too. I mean, you see him, he's repping for the big show, repping for the UFC. So it's awesome that you know good people and that you like really have good people around you. So you're fighting Conrad. So what type of fighter is Conrad? You said he's had one pro fight. Do you know how he did in that pro fight? What do you expect this Saturday when you actually do step in the cage with him?
Well, Saturday when we get in there, I'm really hoping we bang it out and just beat the hell right out of each other and have fun doing it. I got no hard feelings against him whatsoever. I'm actually really excited. This is supposed to be his last fight ever, apparently. He's got some bigger things he's moving on to in life, and I'm kind of just starting to chase my little dream a little late, but trying to chase it now. I got the opportunity to do it. Most of my fights have all been wrestling, ground game, stuff like that, but being clean and having a clear head, I'm definitely excited to throw my hands big time in this fight.
Nice. So you said that you're ready to throw down, and you're the wrestler. So usually the wrestler, they control the tempo, they control where the fight goes. Do you know anything about his background? Is he a wrestler, or is he more of a stand-up fighter? Do you have the advantage in the wrestling category to stand up and bang if you want to? How does that whole dynamic of that work out in your opinion?
I mean, I know his one pro fight, I think he won by TKO. I actually watched that fight against Alex Zakuzlo, and that was a bloody fight that he had, but they definitely still banged it out, and he definitely got the better advantage in that fight. But a lot of my problem used to be cardio, and that's why I didn't want to stand up, because I smoked for a long time, cigarettes, and it was hard for me to run a mile, let alone to stand up with somebody for 15 minutes, and now I'm to the point where it's not really nothing for me to run 5 miles a day, and I mean, obviously I'm a little winded at the end of it, but my body feels great. I'm definitely looking forward to standing up with him. I mean, if I get caught, it's going to the ground, and I feel like I definitely have an advantage going to the ground. There's been a lot of really good wrestlers that I fought, and Nate Elad was one of them, the biggest one that comes to mind. I'm pretty sure he's a pro fighter now, and I remember fighting him in Traverse City, and he was expecting me to stand up with him, and I actually took the fight last minute with him. I ended up giving up 15 pounds in that fight, so I drove up there and didn't want to. I sold a bunch of tickets, didn't want to get up there and not fight, so I said, you know what, worst that's going to happen is I'm going to lose. And he was way bigger than me, and I was not comfortable standing up, and he was surprised. I ended up going for a takedown right off the bat and took him down, and he's a really good wrestler, wrestling coach. I believe he was a wrestling coach for a while. Not sure if he's still doing that, but that was one of my things where it kind of pointed out where I knew I was good going to the ground, because when I got, took him down, I think twice in that fight, and I believe I was one of the only people to take him down as an amateur at that point.
Oh wow, that's what's up. So it sounds like your wrestling is pretty solid. And I know if you train with Sheena and Vance, I mean, they train in a good camp, really tough people, so that's awesome. So you said that you've had a lot of amateur fights. What's it like, how prepared are you for your pro debut compared to some of the amateur fights that you had? You said that you clean, you said that you're ready. How long has it actually been since you took your last fight?
Well, I believe this fight was in 2014, almost 5 years. I think it was just 5 years ago, last month, I want to say. I fought for Conrad, actually. He had a tournament, 155 tournament up in Gaylord, and went up there, won my first fight, took the kid down, ended up getting in an arm triangle in less than 30 seconds. I think it was about 30 seconds. And then in the second fight, I fought Zach Green, and stood up with him for most of the fight. We definitely banged it out in that fight. And I had a great time doing it. And I know he was pretty well ranked amateur at the time for 155. And ended up losing to him, I think, either late in the second round, early third round. Ended up gassing out pretty much is what it was, because my cardio was junk at the time. And he ended up catching me, I think, in a choke, rear naked choke. I think I ended up losing to him, man. But I don't know, man. I'm definitely looking forward to seeing where my cardio's at in the cage with somebody else right now, especially being as long as I've been working on it, you know.
That makes a lot of sense. Now, have you got a lot of good sparring in for this camp? I mean, have you been running? Like, what's your preparation been like for this camp? Because it's been a while. You know, some people think that you have ring rust. I don't believe in ring rust. I feel like, I mean, you've been in there almost 40 times. You know, it should be like muscle memory. So what's your training camp actually been like? Did you do a lot of running, sparring, or just a lot of drilling? What type of preparation did you do for this fight? I mean, not to give too much away, but, you know.
Oh, wow. I started out, it was a lot of stand-up game, nothing but stand-up game, because that was the one thing I wanted to work on. I wanted to get comfortable on my feet, because there really wasn't any fight except probably that last fight against Zach Greening where I was anywhere near comfortable on my feet. Not that I'm worried about taking a punch, because I've definitely taken a lot of them being in, you know, having that many amateur fights, but it's just, I don't know, something bothered me standing up for a long time, so I took probably the first month and a half of training with a couple buddies of mine, just round after round sparring, stand up, you know, and then guy that I started out training with had some issues and he went to rehab. He's actually still in rehab right now, doing really good for himself. And I kind of switched over from my stand up to focus on my cardio for the last part of my camp, and ended up working with a management company from I want to say Maryland. The guy was kind of an online training type dude, and he definitely pushed me on my cardio. Like, there was a lot of stuff he did with me that it just amazed me to be able to do something like that with somebody online. And then I took that, the little bit I did with him, and changed that over just to focus with actual live people, working out with them, back to ground game, you know, working on submissions, stuff like that, trying to learn new stuff there. So I've definitely taken in a lot for this fight.
Okay, and I got a question to ask you as well, because they just passed a new law in Michigan that said you have to have at least 5 amateur fights sanctioned. So did you beat that? Because you said, I mean, you've had a lot of fights. Or did you fight out of state at any time? Do you have any sanctioned fights? Or is this going to be like one of your first sanctioned fights? Because I'm a promoter as well. I used to throw a lot of shows, you know, in Michigan. And back in the Wild Wild West days, anything that we threw wasn't sanctioned. So I'm curious, did you travel and fight, or did you just beat that deadline?
I know I beat the deadline because I only technically had 2 sanctioned fights, and that was actually for Conrad. His tournament fights were my only 2 sanctioned fights. And then, because Pete was messaging me about the deadline deal, and we got that taken care of in time to where I kind of beat that out. And I don't really feel like I kind of got the easy way in, because I definitely put in my work to get to where I'm at, but it would have been nice to have most of them fights sanctioned for sure. But yeah, I got that beat out, and we're 100% set for Saturday on that.
Nice. That's what's up. So what's your goals overall as a professional? Because I know this is your pro debut. Everybody has different reasons why they want to fight. Some people want to fight to be the best. Some people do it because they love to do it. Some people want to get rich off fighting. What's your inspiration for actually coming back to the sport and stepping in the cage again?
Just the main thing is, man, that, you know, no matter what you do in your life, no matter what kind of wrong you do in your life, there's always a way, not necessarily to fix it, but to kind of, I don't know how to even say it. You know, being an addict for as long as I was, for me, to be able to come back now and fight clean, and I went through all the blood work, I got to do all the drug testing and stuff like that, just to show people that you can actually turn your life around and do something with it, even if you don't, even if I don't make it huge and go big sometime. It's just nice to be able to show somebody like, hey, look, this is what I've been through. I've been through a lot, and if I can come back and do something good with it, so can you,
Now, the people around you, because usually when somebody is battling addiction, family, friends, they see it, they have interventions, that they try to help you. Now, what does your family and or friends think about you getting clean, thinking about you fighting? Are they supporting you now more? How is that going? How's the whole process been since everything is going good and you're more focused now? Like, how is everybody around you reacting to you fighting now and beating an addiction?
I mean, I wouldn't say I have a lot of people really close to me, but the people I do have close to me, they've seen, from the beginning. I ruined a lot of friendships, even family relationships, stuff like that, over, close to 15 years of being off and on, being a drug addict. And to me, I'm not out to try to prove anything to them, I guess, would be, because there's still a lot of people. There's always going to be people that doubt, there's always going to be people that are waiting on the failure, stuff like that, but, I'm just planning on doing what I've been doing every day for the last almost 20 months, and, eventually they'll either believe it and they'll catch on and see that I'm doing good, or, they'll just sit back and kind of hate on me for a while. I mean, either way, it doesn't bother me, because that was one of my big problems. I was always out to try to impress people and immediately change their mind, and when I didn't get what I wanted out of that situation, it set me back big time. But I refuse to let anybody bring me down when it comes to that now.
Understand. Do you have anything that you want to say to any doubters? Any doubters that might be doubting you for this fight, that might be thinking, oh, he's not clean, or just anything negative? Do you have anything that you want to say to those people?
I mean, they're gonna see. I firmly believe they're gonna see a huge difference between me now and 5 years ago, even from my last fight, because even my last couple fights, it was same thing. I was not clean. I was not 100% clean. There was always something I was battling at the time, I guess. But I've known just the changes in my body, like the way I look, the way I'm carrying myself. It's gonna be exciting for sure, because I know people are gonna see the difference now than then.
Okay. All right, we almost at that 30-minute mark, so we got to wrap it up in a second. Now, is there anyone that you want to thank, any shout-outs you want to give? And actually, a bigger question I should ask is, why should people come watch your fight this Saturday? That's the real question.
I definitely want to thank Vance. I always thank Vance, and because once again, if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be in this situation at all. I probably never would have made it out of where I was at. Even though me and him don't talk very much anymore, I still consider him a very strong father figure in my life, because, like I said, he's helped me through some crazy times. And definitely want to thank Sheena, because she put this all together. She's actually going to be my corner woman, my cut woman this Saturday, and she's going to take care of me there. And for her setting it all up and everything. And I would definitely come and see this fight, not just my fight. This is going to be an exciting card. You got Mondo fighting on that card. I can't even think of everybody on that card right now. But there's definitely a lot of exciting fights lined up. And this is going to be the most exciting fight that I've ever had for myself, for sure, 100%.
Nice. Okay. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate it, and I definitely would love to have you on the show sometime soon. You maybe after the fight, or maybe even next time you break some fight news. So, thank you so much for coming on, Colton. I really appreciate it, and we will definitely talk soon, my friend. And good luck this weekend, by the way. Good luck this weekend. I don't know your opponent. I've never talked to him, so I can kind of tell you good luck because I don't know him. So it's nothing personal against you, Conrad. I just don't know you.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much, brother, and we will talk soon.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Thank you. Okay, everyone. That was Colton Bowen. Man, very good. I'm very proud of him because he beat addiction. You know, that is not hard to do. Addiction is something that a lot of people struggle with, and it's awesome that he chose martial arts to focus on instead of drugs. I love that. That is good. That makes me happy, and I hope that he has a very good performance and just has a good showing for the crowd. Period. You know, that's all you can ever hope for as a fighter. Once again, if you have not subscribed to the Chapman Show, subscribe now. Subscribe now. Subscribe now. We will be doing giveaways, and we, as always, we will be selling merchandise. So thank you very much for tuning in. I really appreciate it. Subscribe if you haven't, and until next time.